friends, and welcome back to the Basswood carving channel. Yeah, it's been a little minute since I had done a video, so I'm gonna come on here and get you a video out today. So what we're gonna do is this little barbecue pig. Barbecue season is coming up. It's getting warm. Of course, it snowed here today, which is crazy. April 21st, and it snowed. So, but it's still barbecue season, and I do a lot of barbecuing when it's cold out. But you know, the big barbecue season's getting started, so I thought this would be a fun little project. I'll put the pattern up on the website, link to the pattern on the website. I can't even remember where I got this pattern. I think I might have found it on Pinterest or something, but you know, it's just a little, I seen it and I thought it would be fun to do. I made a couple little modifications to it, as I always do, because you know, you want to carve a pattern, you want to add your little flair to it. So we might even add a little spatula in his hand, depending on how much time it takes to get him done. And I left him a little fatter so I could make him a little chunkier than what the pattern is. And I added a little more hat. As you can see on here, his hat is a little short hat, and I thought maybe I'll add a little higher chef's hat and make it a little different. And we'll do a couple different things as we get started into it. But yeah, so we started off with a block of wood, and the size I used on this piece was 4.5 tall by 2 inches wide. So I cut the side profile down just to make it a little quicker on the carving video. But you know, you can, like I always say, you can always just start off with just a square block of wood and just draw your pattern on there. Use some that transfer paper you can get off of Amazon really cheap. Like, I don't know, you can get a bunch of sheets for like a few bucks. It's not very expensive at all. And then I just took the pattern and traced it on there, and like I said, I moved him up and raised his hat up a little bit, and made him he's going to be a little wider than what the front pattern is, just because I always like to play around with a little bit more wood. Not much wider, but a little bit. But I like to leave a little bit, even if I'm cutting out a pattern, or a rough out, I guess you'd call it. I like to leave a little bit on the sides just to trim it down. But you can actually just carve right down to the lines and round. I always stay outside the lines. I try to anyway, and then that way I can round off at the lines. So that always helps if you leave your lines on there and then round off to your lines. I chose to cut out the side pattern just because the fact that it would give us a little quicker carving video than sitting through an hour and a half, 2-hour video. I know sometimes people don't like to watch a video that long, you know, but that's why I can usually carve it down on my bandsaw just to make it a little quicker for you. But we'll start here today. We'll start on the hat. As you can see, the hat kind of extends over the sides. And we always want to look at our pattern, especially if we're just cutting it from a square block. We always want to look at it and look for the high points, the points that stick out the most, and carve to those. And then you can always bring those down a little bit. So like here, we got the tip of the hat, we got the nose, and then we got the little hoofs sticking out. So I'm hoping I can leave a little bit in there and get, which I will, and hopefully, like I said, we can get a little spatula in his hand just to make him a little different than what the pattern is. So let's get started and carving away on this guy. Porky. He's not really Porky Pig, but barbecue pig, I called him. But I apologize, it's been a minute since I got the video going on. I've been really super swamped with work and everything, so things have caught up a little bit, so hopefully I can get a few more videos out to you. And I'm still going to be working on getting my instructor Bob on here do a video. I think we talked about maybe doing another different kind of shelf elf. That seemed to be a popular video. Got a lot of views and got people asking for patterns and things like that. You know, so we'll see if we can get Bob. He does an awesome job with the shelf elves. He's got so many different varieties that he does, and they're really cool. But before we get hacking away too far, let's put a center line on here. Get me started here with a 1-inch little mark, and just put your little mark on there. Set your pencil. Come down. It's always good to put the center line on there. That way you can work from the center out on your piece and kind of keep things even and in proportion. I'm probably a little rusty now because I honestly have only chipped away on a piece of wood very little bit since I've been so busy. But I got some good ideas coming up I think you guys will like, and I just want to thank everybody that's been subscribing to the channel. I've been getting a lot of subscribers, and I'm almost hit 1,000. I'll be excited. I'll do something special when I hit 1,000. But I really appreciate all the subscribers, and I thought, man, I'm getting so many subscribers, it's probably time that I put up a video for them since I got new ones. And I know the Tweety video I did was really popular, so I think I got another cartoon character to do that you guys will like coming up. So we'll get that one done and give you some more projects to work on. So we're just going to kind of work on this hat a little bit, get it tucked under the flap on both sides. Just kind of work on the hat, get it down. It's almost like working with a rough out when you carve it down. I know some people think it's cheating, you know, but when I'm doing the videos, I'm going to switch knives. I like my curved lines knife here. I know when I do the videos, people don't like to sit there and watch for 2 hours, hour and a half, and I personally don't like to make like 2 videos out of a carving unless it's just the other one's a painting video. I would rather have a long video myself and a longer video, and then that way if I'm watching a video, I like a little longer video. That way I can go back and just pause it, stop it wherever I left off, and when I pick it back up, usually YouTube picks it up where I left off. So some people like to do them in smaller parts, you know, which is cool. I don't complain about it. I'm not complaining, but just my style is I'd rather do one video for the carving and then maybe one for the painting if I'm going to paint it online or paint it in the video for you. So basically I'm just going to go around, start rounding all these off, get the hard edges off. Like I said in other videos, it's always good to just get your hard edges off and start getting a little bit of shape to it so you can get a little bit of a direction on where you're at and what you're doing and where you're going with it. Plus, it always makes it easier to hold when you don't have those sharp edges digging into your hand. You might hear my chickens in the background. They've been going crazy today. I don't know what's up with them, but they didn't want to come out this morning when I went to let them out because of the snow. I think they were as freaked out about it as I was. I mean, I knew it was coming, but I was like, come on, this is April. Luckily, I didn't plant my garden yet because I would have had to go out there and try to cover everything over. And this was kind of a wet, heavy snow because it wasn't real cold. I think it dropped down to like, I think it was actually just around 32. So it was cold, but freezing, but it wasn't. It wasn't like a really hard frost, but it would have been enough to kill my plants. I don't know, they always say Mother's Day is the day to plant your garden, but I usually like to get some cabbages and broccolis and stuff like that out before it gets real cold, or before it gets real hot. So I don't know. Luckily, I didn't do that this time, so I didn't lose anything. Last year, I planted a bunch of cabbages. Like a week later, it got really cold and had 2 or 3 days of hard frost and wiped them all out. Ended up having to, they were all ones I had started in the house and worked on and kept them. Nursed them, babied them, and got them all ready to go outside. And hardened them off and everything and planted them. I thought, man, I'm going to have a good jump on it. And then got 2 days of good hard frost and wiped them all out. So I ended up having to go buy plants. And I usually try to start all my plants and grow them myself. But this year I've been so busy I hadn't had a lot of time to get them going. So I'm going to be buying plants this year, I guess. It's crazy when you don't carve for a while how rusty you feel when you get started back. I didn't carve or practice one of this one. Sometimes I do. If I'm kind of questioning myself on it a little bit, I'll carve a couple of them or one or two just to see what my plan is. But this one I just thought, well, I need to do a video for everybody, and it'll be good to just pick something up and carve it. So that's what I'm doing here. So bear with me and we'll get this little piggy done. Basically trying to take off these sawn edges first. I'm gonna have to be really careful once I get the nose down some. A lot of noise in the house today, I'm sorry. I even warned everybody that I was getting ready to start a video, and it seems like I guess everybody moving around for some reason. So he's going to have a little bit of a neck coming in here, looking at it. But I kind of wanted to leave him some fat cheeks. So I kind of give me a mark for his bottom of his head. Same thing over here. So what you can do is, when you don't have it drawn on the other side, use your pencil. Find out where you're at. And if you're new to carving, I will tell you, it's always going to look rough when you're starting, and you're always going to be looking at it over and over. Trying to figure out your direction, where you're going. I think it's okay to jump around. Everybody jumps around. Separate things, you know, separate your head, separate your shoulders, separate your arms. I don't take off big chunks of wood like everybody else does. I like to take off little pieces and work my way around. I guess that's why sometimes my videos are longer than they probably should be, but I like to enjoy carving, taking my time and just shaping the wood. The other thing that happened to me was one of my GoPros broke, so I had to go out and invest in another GoPro. And if you know GoPros, you know they're not cheap. And I couldn't get the new one just because it was just way too expensive. At the time, it just wasn't in the budget. So I had to get one that was refurbished. And it's not even the latest model, but it's think it's going to record fine. It's the same model number that I was using. Okay, we're starting to get him separated a little bit here. Okay, so his chin, got some more of his nose I can take off, but I'm not going to go there yet. Go ahead and work on his buttocks here a little bit and maybe separate the feet. Start rounding it around a little bit. This piece is out of my Heineke. I think I showed you guys in the Basswood, how to find Basswood video. I got a new big old chunk of Basswood from Heineke. And this is a piece of it, and it's really nice. I know some of my Canadian viewers said that they couldn't get Basswood from Heineke, and I understand that's a shame. But check out Chipping Away. I think it's called Chipping Away. I put it in the comment section for one of my Canadian viewers that you can get some basswood from them guys. From what I understand, they have some really decent basswood, but there again, I haven't purchased any from them, but I hear they got some decent wood. Gonna cut this arm a little bit before I lose it. Just trace along your cut. Just come up with some little stop, with a little stop cut. Sorry if I'm getting out of the video. I got this little wrinkle on my table here where my fold is, and I kind of try to use that as my center line now to keep myself in the camera view. Doing my best. Like I said, I'm used to carving up against me a lot. Up against my body and closer, so getting the right view for everybody is always a challenge, and I just can't carve with the GoPro between my arms. I'm always banging on it, making a bunch of thumping noises on the video. Okay, so I'm just kind of getting this laid out. Just mark his apron a little bit. Always do that either with a V-tool or with a stop cut and my knife. If you just do that with little cuts, you can always go back and make all this deeper. And that's my theory on it, is that if I've got everything marked off, I can always come back and make it deeper. You can't put wood back on, but you can always take a little more off. Okay, so we just kind of got that roughed out a little bit, and I'm going to show you what I can do to the other side, since I don't have it drawn on there. Okay, take your pattern and flip it over and find your spot like so. I really only need to get the arm in there, so it's kind of in the same spot. So let me see if I can keep this in the camera. So find the fingers or the hooves. Now line that up. Okay, and then if you've already got a pencil mark on there, if you take and kind of press it down, I might have to redraw the pencil in just to show you. But turning it upside down. And sometimes it'll leave you a little bit of a line where your pencil line. Or you can take and move this out of the way for a minute. Take and darken these in with some pencil. darken it in with the pencil. And then when you turn it over, for one, you can see it better. And when you lay that guy on there and rub on it again, you can kind of transfer that. I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of light, but you can kind of transfer that right onto the other side. Okay, so there's my bottom of my apron. Here's my arm. Here's the inside of the arm. Here's his thumb. If a pig has a thumb. Okay, so I can kind of redraw that back in there, or draw it back in there, and have it somewhat at the same spot. Alright, that made it a little easier because I had those sticking out to go by. Alright, so then I'll just go back in here and do the same thing on the other side. Just get my cut started a little bit. Okay, just to get it laid in there, so I know about where I'm going. Okay, over here it comes right under the chin, so I know right under the chin. Back in towards the elbow. Same thing. And got his little thumb. Back in here. And it don't even have to necessarily look the same exactly on the other side. But it just kind of gives me some waypoints of where I know I can take it down. Clean this up a little bit more. Want to have enough to round this off a little bit. Okay, let's lay out some feet. Looking at his feet, he's got a couple toes. So we're going to put a little curve right here. This will be the bottom of his apron, and then his legs will come down. So we're going to put a little curve right in here. Cut it back in, like so, just so we know. Then we'll probably just take and split the difference. Well, let's see. Those are kind of turned in a little bit, so we'll put them a little bit off center to the inside, like so. And then we'll be rounding this off a little bit. Let's go ahead and take a little bit of that off. And I'm trying to be careful because I don't want to chip this end off whenever you, and I don't really have a lot of room to go the other direction. But we'll work our way around that. Round that in a little bit. Round this end back here. Okay, so we want to give him a nose, a snout, and I'm going to start big. And I do this when I'm drawing out a cowboy's different features of the cowboy. Where I can, I start big, because nothing's worse than, especially on this guy, would be have a little snout. Too small of a snout on the pig. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start outside that line. We're going to start getting some roundness to the snout so we can finish off his head. Same Same thing, just make a few stop cuts. Start taking it away from the nose. And the nose is probably going to go in a little bit, but for right now, we're just going to keep it wide. I can take this all the way off now from here down. Same thing on the other side. Just going to make a stop cut outside that line. Okay, we'll get that nose protruding out now. So now we can kind of start rounding his cheeks a little bit and start getting some final shape down here. If you look at the front view, his head goes in towards his shoulders. His shoulders stick out a little bit, so we still got quite a bit we can take off around here, but we want to leave a little bit for an ear. So we're going to go ahead and start rounding this in a little bit. But let's go ahead and put a line for his hat and separate the top of his hat from his head, and that way we can tuck his hat or tuck his face into his hat. Okay, bring this up just a little bit more right here. Alright, so what we'll do is, again, we'll just make a stop cut. grab my flex cut knife. I just got these all sharpened up. And they're really nice when you gotta go against a tucked in area. I don't know, a lot of people say they don't like the flex cut, but I kind of like them. I find there's different spots where they really work good for you. I really like my lion's knives. Picked up two more lion's knives from Bob. Did some computer work for him. He got a new computer and did a little computer work for him. Helped him get things set up, and we were just talking about how much I really like the lion's knives, and he was sharpening my knives for me because he's got one of those wheels with all the different sharpening attachments and different wheels on there to sharpen with. I thought my camera wasn't recording there for a minute, but he's got all those wheels and the big strop. And we were talking. He was sharpening up my knives for me. I said, I'll help you with your computer if you'll sharpen my knives up. And I honestly haven't used them since he sharpened them up for me. But we were talking about the lion's knives, and he pulls out a tool roll of all lion's knives. I bet he had probably 20 of them in there. And he said, go ahead and pick you one out that you like. And I said, really? I don't want to do that. I can buy them. And I don't know if you've tried lately, but they're hard to find. I haven't been able to find them. Kind of like the Helmy knives. So I said, I'm really partial to my curved knife. I really like it. I got that at a carving show, carving exhibition thing, and I've never looked back on that knife. And he whipped out the tool roll, and said, here you go, pick you a knife out of there that you like. So I picked one out, and I thought, well, I really like my flex cut. So if anything, I'd like to have one with kind of a straight blade. So I picked this one out. And this is more of a detail knife. I mean, I could use it on this here. See, it works good for getting up in there. But I just really like the way these lion's knives feel in my hand. So I picked that one out. I picked this one out here. And he said, pick you another one out. And I said, what? No, I'm not going to pick out another one. Those are your knives. He said, pick out another knife. So I thought, well, if I'm going to pick one out, since I like the curve on this one, I would like to have maybe one with the opposite curve. Convex and concave, I guess you would say. But the handles, man, these handles are really nice. I believe it's walnut. And they just feel so good in your hand, you know. The finish is a little slick on them, so when you see me drop them, sometimes it's just because they, it's because they slip out of my hand. But I also like the feel of this flex cut, just the way it fits in my hand. I like that. It feels like I have a little better grip on the knife up here, and I don't drop it as much. And I asked him, I said, well, what's your favorite knife? What's your best knife? He said, a sharp one. And I said, no, really, which ones do you like the best? He said, all of them. So I could see I wasn't going to get a clear answer. Because to him, he can carve with about anything. He can probably carve with a darn fingernail clipper if he wanted to. But I was really not wanting to take his knives, because I know once you start carving, you start building up a collection of knives. You know, it's kind of your pride is your tools and your knives. And at our carving club, once a month, we have a knife giveaway. So when you're a paid member, if you make it to the beginning of the month meeting, we have a knife giveaway. So everybody gets a ticket, and you get to draw a knife, and they draw your name, and they draw for a knife. And if your ticket number gets called, you get to pick out a knife out of the knife selection box. And they're all good knives. Really good knives. And I think Bob wins. He wins a lot. I've never won one yet. We're starting to get him there. Just trying to work that head down. And if I get too much under here, I can always come back and take more off of this hat up here. And I kind of want his body to be a little more chunky. So, fortunately, once I get the head where I want it, I can finish up the body and the feet. But he's still kind of got an elongated head here, so I still have some to take off the back here. That's why I'm trying to bring it down on the insides a little bit and keep taking it down above the shoulders Remember I showed you that the head sits inside the shoulders, which is normal on most carvings, but this way I can get the back shaped and the back of the head shaped. And like I said, I can always take off more of the hat, because a chef's hat kind of fits tight to the head at the top. So you don't want a bunch of overhang right here, around here. Sorry if I'm getting out of the camera. And I'm trying to keep it centered, keep his nose centered. So as you can see, I got a little more come off over here. So I need to take a little more off over here on this cheek. Trying to move a little faster for you guys now, since we're getting there. But I don't want to get too carried away. I don't have a glove on, and like I said, these knives, he got my knives pretty sharp. Feeling good, cutting really nice. That coupled with this good Heineke Basswood. Still got a little more to come off this cheek over here. Take a couple big chunks off. I think everybody just gets comfortable with the knife that they've been working with, and you just feel good when you got that knife in your hand, and kind of get to know your limits with it, what it can do. And I don't have any Helby knives. I was going to buy a couple Helby knives, and they were hard to find anywhere, and I seen them on eBay for like 125 bucks. And I was like, I'm not going to spend 125 bucks to somebody just trying to make more than $1 on them, for sure. I haven't checked the status of them lately, if anybody's got any of them in stock or anything, so. But I'm not really a tool collector or a knife collector. Now, if I start getting some free ones from the club, I'll probably take them. this down a little more. I want to get a little more of a rounder look to the hat. So I'm trying to create that little fold over look on the top of the hat, because usually you see the chef's hat, it kind of curves over the front. So that's why I've been cutting up in here. Plus it'll give it more depth, but I'm going to take a gouge and clean that out a little bit when we get ready to finish up the head. So I'm starting to get there. It's looking a little more round. You just don't want to try to get away from that square look. And the only way to do that is just keep taking it down. And we're going to make his nose a little smaller yet. Just a little bit. I kind of wanted that nose. I don't want it to be too small. I want him to have a big nose. Big snout. But I do want to take it down. And I don't actually have to round that front part of his nose, because I want to give it that little bit of illusion that the nose is turned up. And also, if you've ever looked at a pig's nose, the snout, the tip of his snout is kind of bigger at the face of it. Okay, let's start doing something with the body. We want to give him some rounded looking arms. And I'm going to put a little bib on his, instead of this, I'm going to put a little apron on the front. Kind of like that. So let's get the arms down a little bit. And the back of his body. into his legs. Finish up his legs a little bit. His arms will be easy once we get this down some. We just roll them over. Okay. Once we get the center out here, we can really put the final shape on the arms and the fingers and everything. So I think we're pretty good on the back almost until we get the rest of it kind of shaped down. I don't want to lose my arms yet, so that's why I need to move to getting the fingers and hands out. So there again, we're gonna start wide with the hands like we did the ears. Hooves, I keep saying hands, but I guess if he's holding the spatula, it'll be hands. Okay, we started separating the feet a little bit. We're getting the belly shaped out, working on the legs now. We'll finish up the inside of the arms and put the little bib on, and just about have her wrapped up. Have him wrapped up, I should say. Okay, let's put some of the finishing little details on here. And first we need a couple little round spots for his snout. And then we need some eyes. And we need a mouth. And he's just got kind of a smile on. Then we need his bib. For his apron. And we're going to cut that with the V tool. So let's find the V. That looks like that'll work. Get around his hand here. Okay, let's cut in his mouth. This is where your carving starts getting that finished look, when you start doing a little bit of detail on this guy. He's going to look good. Okay. See, one thing I did want to do before I forget is I want to take and clean this out up in here. Remember I said I wanted it to look like it's leaning forward. So I'll take the V, since I got the V. I'm just going to cut that out underneath there a little bit. And back here, I'm going to leave it. I'll do just a little bit just to clean that cut out a little bit, but I'm not going to go as deep on that side. Because I want that leaning forward look, if you can see. Alright. And I think we're going to round it a little bit more at the top. So we'll just take a chunk off of here on these corners. Just take off these hard edges. Clean this up a little bit. They're starting to look good. There we go. That looks better. With a little dip in the back here. Take off a little bit of these saw marks and pencil lines. A little bit of a dip down in there. So I got a little nick there. Okay, let's take this down just a little bit by his apron here. Okay, a little spot here around the nose before we put the eye in. Once I put the eye in, we'll be able to clean that up. Sorry if I keep going out of camera, guys. Okay. Let's cut these eyes. Let's use a little detail knife. just make a little cut. We come back and just take that little sliver out of there. Okay, same thing here. Little cut around. Trying to keep them the same size. And just go around the inside. Take that little sliver out of there. It's a tough little eye to get to in there. Alright. Okay, so we got the eyes, we got the nose, we got the mouth. See a little spot I need to fix. Okay, what are we going to do about the holes? I think on the holes in the nose, I think we're just going to paint those in, but we're going to open them up a little bit. I got a little round mini tool here, and I can take and go in, and same thing on the other side, go in. I can kind of turn it a little bit. Yeah, I like that better. And go back in here. All right, let's see, what else do we need to do? Let's clean up around this neck a little bit. Just get the fuzzies off. I think we're looking good, guys. He's got some funked up toes here. I don't know if I like that third toe in there. I might have to make two big cuts right there. Yeah, I like that better. All right, let's see. I'm kind of nervous about trying to round this off too much because I don't want it to chip. But we could do this. We can take a little bit of that corner off and a little bit of this corner. And we can tuck that in there a little bit. Same thing over here. Just take a little bit of that tip off of there, just so it don't look so square. See, I like doing them like this, where I haven't carved them before, because you guys get to see my thought process. if there is any behind it. When I'm looking at something, it's kind of definitely real live carving. Because like I said, I have not carved this before. And haven't had much chance to really do much with it. But I think that's going to be it, guys. We're going to come back with it painted up. I'm not going to make you suffer through the painting. It's going to be pretty easy. What I'm thinking is I'm going to give him a denim apron. He's going to obviously be kind of a pinkish color for pig color, white hat. Probably give him some blue eyes. And, oh, I know what we can do. One last thing we can do is he needs to have an apron tie. So if his apron's coming over here, no, I don't like that. Let's do it right here. Here, let's erase that. And let's just put a little string. Something like so. You know what? I think I might paint that on. Let's see. Make a little knot. Just like we did with the eye, we just cut around it and cut up to it. Take our little detail knife and put a little cut right here. Just want that raised up a little bit. We'll make it look like a knot. That's kind of hard to see on the camera probably, but you'll see it better when I get it painted. Okay, there he is. All right, guys, we'll bring you back when he's all painted up. And okay, guys, we're back, and we got Mr. Barbecue Pig all done here. Put a little spatula in his hand. Once I got off camera last night, I thought, well, I'm gonna go ahead and do the spatula. So I thought that just added to finishing it up and making it look finished and give him a little extra element. So he don't quite look like the pattern. I try to make him a little different because, you know, that's what you do if you're working with patterns. You know, try to add your own touch to it. He's got his little brown cooking apron on right there, and there's his little tie on the back. So yeah, it was a fun little carve. It took me longer than I expected, but you know, in the end, it was fun. Had to do a little cleanup on the eyes after I got off camera and got into the light. So I really enjoyed getting this little carving done. But anyway, I appreciate everybody following the channel. Appreciate all the new subscribers. Again, sorry I haven't been on for a little bit. Been really slammed with work and new projects that I got going on. But I'm going to be back and try to give everybody some good fun content. I like doing these fun little carvings, you know, little caricatures pretty much is what they are. And I know everybody enjoyed the Tweety bird. And here's another little fun little barbecue pig you can do. And like I said, I really appreciate everybody following the channel and subscribing. The subscribers have been great. I'm almost up to 1,000. I'm hoping to break 1,000 after this video. It seems like when I put a video out, then my subscriber numbers keep going up. So picking up subscribers every day, that's a good thing. And I appreciate all the new subscribers. If you haven't went back and watched the earlier videos, you know, you'll see, hopefully I'm getting a little better with my videos. I just really enjoy carving. It's just a fun little hobby to pick up. And you know, I got this little display now. It's kind of cool how they can go around and give you kind of a full round view of the carving. But if you haven't liked this channel, you know, or liked the video, give me a like. Hopefully that'll help me get up to my 1,000 goal. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Why not? Why haven't you subscribed? Please subscribe. And give us a share if you got a carving community you can share me with. You know, I'd really appreciate it. But like I said, I really appreciate all the subscribers, and thanks for the support. And we'll see you on the next carving.